Workday overview of basics because I don't want to go on technical side at the first, since it's our first session. Some of you might have already IT background. Some of you might be very new to the IT background. Some of you might be very new to the HR background. So I have to make sure everyone should be on the same page. Hence, I'm not discussing more technical work in this session. Okay, so we have a separate session which is called Workday Deployment Methodology. We have a separate session called Workday Deployment Methodology. In this session, we will discuss in detail about what is Workday, what are the tools we will use in Workday during implementation and AMS projects or application support, and also what are the roles and responsibilities of different consultants like engagement manager, a junior consultant, or a consultant, or business analyst. Okay, what is the role of a customer, an implementation partner, and Workday? Okay, and also what tools we will use in order to maintain the quality of configuration. What are the test scripts and testing methodology we will use in Workday? Okay, all this and what are the documents we will use to gather the data from the customer and refine the data and capture the details in the process books and workbooks. All this we'll discuss under one session called a Workday deployment methodology. Okay, so in detail, the more technical things going to be covered here. Okay, so few things I will highlight first, and then I will take you to the course content. What is the current version of the Workday? Current version. So the current version of the Workday, the one which we are using at this moment as of today, 9 November 2023, it is called, this is the version we are using. This is the version we are using. Earlier, up to 2020, up to 2020, we will call it as Workday 21, 22, 23, 24, something like that. Okay, and up to 34. 2020, the last update is 34. 2021 onwards, Workday changed the naming convention or nomenclature. They changed the naming convention, friends. Now, what they're calling it as WD stands for Workday, 2023 stands for year, R2 stands for release 2. Okay, this is release 2, this is year, this is Workday. Every 6 months, Workday will release two updates. Sorry, every year, Workday will release two updates. Okay, one update in the month of Feb and second update in the month of either August or most probably by September, every 6 months. For example, in the next year, 2024, we are entering, right? Just left with the December. So if they're releasing a new features in the next year, Feb, Workday will call it as Workday 2024 R1 stands for release 1. In the same year, Workday will release the next update in the month of September, which is called Workday 2024 R2 release 2. Okay, it's similar to the Apple strategy. Okay, so we'll call it as iPhone 13, 14, 15. The current version is 15, right? Recently, even Apple released their product. Similar to that, Workday also, every 6 months, they will release enhancements, amendments, changes to their Workday application. And these changes, whenever Workday is releasing, is a free of cost. The customers no need to spend any additional cost for this. And going forward, we are going to hear three terms. One is customer, implementation partner or partner short form. Workday. Customer means the end users who is utilizing this Workday application for the day-to-day HR practices. Qualcomm, Walmart, Mercedes. Recently, Mercedes also went go live. I mean, they're still working. Okay, I'm just giving few names here. In fact, we have a lot. Okay, so Qualcomm customers, Walmart, even Mercedes, even Pfizer, Abbott. Sorry if there is any typo. Okay, so these are all called customers who implementing Workday for their data HR practice. Okay, who implemented for these customers? Implementation partners we will call it. Accenture, IBM, PwC, Deloitte, okay? Deloitte, and some other partners. There are a good number of partners in the market. Customers, partners. Workday is the product owner. Product owner. So there are different roles here. So we will discuss in detail under deployment methodology. Okay. So going forward, when I say customer, remember the company who implementing Workday. When I say partner, the company or service-based company who is implementing Workday for the customer. When I say Workday, the product owner, the sole owner of the product. Okay, so again taking one step back to the updates. As I said, so we have 1 year, every year Workday will release two updates. One is in the month of Feb, another one is in the month of September, and we'll calling it as these names. I will also take one session how to manage and maintain the new features, new updates. We will call it as release. There are jobs also for release managers, release consultants. These new updates, when our Workday releasing, these new updates again are of two types, friends. Updates are of two types. One is automatic updates. Another one is you can call it as manual. Alternatively, you can call it as opt-in updates. Automatic updates means you cannot say no to these features. You must accept these features from Workday, whatever changes they're releasing. We don't have any control to say no because each and every customer they will do an agreement with Workday. Okay, we will call it SLA agreement with Workday. What are the changes whenever Workday is releasing? They must accept because Workday wants everyone on the same page. For example, currently we are in Workday 2023 R2. In the September, Workday released. If any customer say, I'm very comfortable with the Workday 2023 R1, I don't want R2. No, no one can say that. Everyone has to accept. Okay, there is a service level agreement between Workday and the customer. And manual updates is up to customer can take these updates, customer can skip these updates. Manual updates or opt-in updates are optional, friends. It's not mandatory. Customer can take it, customer can skip it. But automatic updates, customer must accept it. Okay. So there is another session called release management activities. I will discuss in detail in that part. Okay. Which report we need to run, how to identify automatic and manual, how to do the impact assessment, and how to schedule this project deployments. And of course, there is no migrations or no patchwork from our side. Everything Workday will be taking care. So what is our role? So we'll discuss the complete details in this session. As I said, I don't want to touch base more technical in our first session. Okay. Now I will take you to the course content. So please feel free to stop me if you have any questions. Don't hesitate, friends. Okay. Or even if you're not clear with the topic, you can stop me. I try my best to give the basic examples. Okay. I'll try to simplify the complex things onto basic ones. This session we are designed for techno functional, which means here we are going to cover integration topics, Here we are also going to cover functional topics. Okay, functional topics. Workday has multiple modules. When you say HCM, Workday has core HR, payroll, talent, benefits, time tracking, absence, learning, etc., performance, etc. Okay, in which we are going to learn functional core HR. The core HR is the high priority or high important module in Workday. If anyone wants to learn benefits module, we'll call it as advanced module. Or if anyone wants to learn payroll, they must complete this class first, and then only they are able to learn. This is not I am saying Workday recommending this approach, because here you have end-to-end employee data along with the dependency of securities, compensations, workflows, etc. Okay, let's start from here. So what we are going to learn in this course, we are going to learn core HR and Workday integrations and reportings. Let me do a deep dive in each and every topic I will walk through. So we're going to start from core concepts and navigational basics, which means how to log into the Workday tenant, how to log into the Workday environment, what are the features we have on the landing page, what is meant by a worklet, how to search for a task, how to modify a task which you already configured, or how to view the task, and what is meant by inbox, what is meant by notification, how to sign out from Workday, how to change language preferences, how to hide my personal information. Okay, and what are the worklets we can configure on the landing page, what is meant by announcements and Workday assistant. All this we are going to cover under core concepts and navigational basics. Okay, this is a basic topic like introduction to Workday environment, how to play around the tenant, how to navigate on the tenant for our day-to-day HR practice, shortcuts, etc. Then we'll start our first chapter from organizations in Workday. This is our first chapter, in fact. So Workday has recommended a sequential order configuration principle because each module or each chapter has a dependency. For example, I cannot configure or create these details without creating organizations. Similarly, I cannot configure the business processes without creating organizations. So everything is interdependent. Okay. So let's see in organizations what we are going to learn. We are going to learn here around 11 organizations. We are going to discuss in detail about 11 organizations, which includes supervised organization, cost center hierarchy, region, region hierarchy, location hierarchy, matrix organization, custom organization, pay group, company, company hierarchy. Now, question is, all these 11 organizations are mandatory? Answer is no, not mandatory. It's up to customer's requirement. We need to understand the customer's requirement first. When I say customer, these people, these companies. So we have to understand their requirements and identify what are all organizations they need. Based on that, you need to include in the scope. Okay. Out of 11 organizations, there is one organization called supervisor organization is mandatory. Okay. Out of 11, though you have not created, there is no harm, but you must create this organization. Why? Because supervisor organization is mandatory and unique among all other 11 organization friends, because it holds, you can create positions under supervisor organization, you can copy business process under supervisor organization, you can define roles and responsibilities under supervisor organization. Okay, and finally you can hire employees into the supervisor organization. So I'm high level, I'm explaining. Once we start our session, in detail we will discuss. Okay, then we'll also talk about how to create a subordinate organization, how to assign a superior organization, how to divide an organization, how to inactivate a supervisor organization if you think that organization is not required in future or some time being. What are the challenges we will get during inactivation? We will discuss all those topics as well. Okay. To make it simple, managing organizations. Managing and organizing organizations. And then we'll also talk about additional organization types and hierarchies. Once we configure all these additional organization types and hierarchies, we'll assign under organization assignment for reporting purpose, for default and positions also, or workers. So as I said, we have 11 organizations are available, right? All those are part of additional organization. So once we complete this chapter, we'll complete one round of testing to make sure all our configurations are accurate and working as expected. Okay. And then we'll move on to the next chapter called staffing models. Here, first we'll have an overview of staffing models, importance of staffing models, and then what are the different types of staffing models we have, how to change the staffing models for each supervisor organization. We will discuss. Then after, hiring restrictions, or you can call it as position restrictions or job restrictions. Okay. So what are these hiring restrictions? Assume a customer told you to create a position. Then you may need to ask some questions to the customer. For whom we are creating this position? What is this position title? When you would like to hire an employee into the position? When you need this position effective under your supervisor organization? What is the time type of the position, full-time or part-time? Are we creating this position for employee or contingent? Are we creating this position for regular or casual? What qualifications required for this position? All these are called hiring restrictions, friends. Okay. Then we'll talk about differentiating staffing models, the difference between position management and job management. As I said, we have two types of staffing models available, position management and job management. So we'll discuss in detail between the two types of staffing models. And then how to select a right staffing model for right requirement. As I said, different customers may have different requirements. So some customers may prefer position management, some customers may prefer job management. So how do you recommend which one is suitable for their business needs? Here, I will come up with a case study. That case study will help you to understand the right staffing model. Okay, we all will go to the requirement and we'll recommend the correct staffing model. So, of course, here also we'll do one round of testing to ensure the staffing models are working, and then we'll move on to the next chapter jobs and position. This is a very simple chapter. So here we're going to learn job profiles, job families, job family groups. In Workday, job profiles are mandatory. If you want to hire an employee, you must need to create a job profile. Whereas job family groups are optional. You can create them or you can ignore. There is no harm. But job profiles, mandatory you need to configure. Why? Why you need to create job profiles as mandatory? Because it holds positions additional key information. For example, what is this position? What is this position management type? Management level 1, level 2, level 3. And is this job profile or employee in this job profile is part of any unions? Is this job profile is exempt or non-exempt? What is the job level, job category of this? What is the job description? What is job classification? You will maintain all the details under job profile and then we'll assign to the position so that the position is ready for hire. Whereas job families and job family groups are optional, friends. You can group job profiles into job families and then group job family into job family groups. Example, you need to differentiate or distinguish executive job profiles into executive job family, management job profiles into management job family, non-management job families into job profiles into non-management job families, or HR job profiles into HR job family, IT job profiles into IT job family, something like that. If you have a requirement, I mean, customer has requirements, you can create them. Okay. Then after, we'll also talk about how to create positions, how to create jobs, how to edit a position, and not only that, freeze position, close position, unfreeze position. For example, a customer told you create two positions. Then you created two positions, manager one, manager two. Then the later customer said they don't need this position for some time being due to sorry, for some time being due to budget issue. You don't want to hire any employee. Then you can freeze the position, which means temporarily you are marking the position not available for hire. Once the budget is released, and then you can release the position, unfreeze the position so that the position is available for hire. Similarly, we can close the position also, friends. Close means permanently we are closing the position. What are the do's and don'ts, best practices in closing and freezing? We will discuss that as well. Then after, we'll also talk about compensation. First, here we'll have compensation overview, compensation components overview, dependency on the compensation, dependence of other models in the compensation. Okay. And for example, recruitment model required compensation, payroll model required compensation, benefit model required compensation. So there's some models require compensation data. Why and how? That we will discuss. Thereafter, we'll talk about compensation components, which includes compensation grade profile, salary plan, allowance plan, and again allowances are of three types: amount based allowance, percentage based allowance, unit based allowance, unit salary plan, period salary plan, commission plan, calculated plan, compensation element group, compensation package. Okay, these are all called compensation components. So we are going to discuss in detail for each and every component with real-time scenarios. Then after, we'll talk about compensation segmentation security. This is something like hiding certain compensation plan from certain group of users. Example, let's say you have created a joining bonus or sign-on bonus one-time payment plan. And as per your company's requirement, customer's requirement, this needs to be available only for the recruitment coordinator, recruitment manager. Nor manager or HR partner should not view nor assign this plan to any employee. I'm repeating. You're allowing recruitment manager, recruitment coordinator to initiate the one-time payment for eligible employees. You're not allowing manager, HR partner to view this one-time payment plan. This we can achieve with the help of segmentation security. Okay. Then compensation eligibility rules. Identify the right employee for right compensation. What do you mean by that? Just take an example. You have three groups of employees: executive, management, non-management. You got a requirement saying that all executive employees are eligible for car allowance. All executive employees eligible for car allowance, which means only executive people, friends. If you try to hire a management employee, non-management employee, this car allowance should not be available to assign. This we can restrict with the help of eligibility rules. You need to create eligibility rules based on the requirements to ensure the particular plans must be available for the right employees. Okay. Then after, compensation reports. We have a number of Workday delivered reports available. Some of the reports are for decision making purpose. Some of the reports are to alert you if any configuration issues or mismatches happen. For example, as per your requirement, a group of employees eligible for compensation, but you have not assigned the plans to them. This report will tell you. Or by mistake, you have assigned the plans to some employees who is not eligible. This report will tell you so that you can do corrections according to that. Okay. Then after security groups. Of course, here also we'll do end-to-end testing. Then security groups. Security groups are of two types. Okay. Widely divided into two types. Domain-based security groups, business process security policies. What is the difference between these? A domain-based security group means assume an employee's date of birth is a very sensitive. Most of the companies they won't allow anyone to view any employee's date of birth because sensitive information, years, age, correct. Let's say you have a requirement. A manager is not supposed to view a manager not supposed to view in subordinates or report his date of birth. Whereas HR partner can view any employee date of birth or modify, which means you are allowing one group of people or one group of people like managers not allowing to view certain data. You're allowing other group of people like HR partner, HR admin to access the employees' data birth details. These things we can achieve with the help of domain-based security group. Business plus security group means assume I have requested for a time off or leave time. I requested time off or leave time. Now it may goes for my manager's approval. Manager's approval. Now my manager can approve my leave. My manager can deny my leave. My manager can cancel my leave. Our manager can ask me correct the number of days. I can't approve 3 days. I can approve 2 days only. So these action items like approving the leave, cancel the leave, deny the leave will be taken care through business process security policies. Okay. Thereafter, we'll also talk about different types of security groups, configurable security, functional areas of security types, securable items, security policies, how to grant access, how to maintain security permissions. We will discuss all these details in detail. Okay. Then after business processes, we can also call it as workflow. A sequence of steps will trigger one after another, friends. We'll discuss in detail in our regular session. So, so here first we'll have overview of what is business processes, how to view what are the list of business processes. We have 355 business processes available in Workday as of today, November 9th. Okay, so we will discuss in detail and how to copy a BP, how to copy an existing business process, and how to limit a business process, how to inactivate a business process. What is meant by business process framework? Something like add row or remove the additional row, order, parallel step inbox order, action items, types, types, approvals, and also all security group types, due date is based on effective date. These are fast enough framework. Okay, we will discuss in detail each and every framework attributed to real-time scenarios. Also, we'll talk about business process configuration options, which includes action, approval, consolidated approval, approval chain, consolidated approval chain, review documents, to-do, service, etc. With real-time scenarios, we will discuss. Then also we'll talk about business process functionality and business processes and sub-processes. How to include other business process as a sub-process. And then we'll do an end-to-end testing to make sure our business processes are working as expected. Okay, with some real-time scenarios and examples. I'll create a real-time test cases as well. Then we'll move on to the transactions in Workday. Here we are going to discuss about how to create applicant data. So when I say transactions, friends, hire an employee, promote an employee, transfer an employee, demote an employee, relocate an employee, perform a data changes to an employee could be all part of transactions. So how to get an applicant data, pre-hire data, how to initiate a hire process, what are the best practice in hire process in and what are the common issues as a consultant will get in the hire process. That also will be discussed. And then staffing movements, or short form you can call it a change job, promotion, transfer, relocation. We will also discuss those. And then terminations. In the termination full package, we will discuss like how to configure termination business process, how to configure termination reasons, voluntary, involuntary termination reasons, country specific termination reasons, okay, and how to create notice period eligibility rules, how to maintain notice period, how to restrict rehire, okay, if an employee terminated with involuntary termination reason, if you don't want allow the rehire the employee in the organization, how to stop, how to process a severance payment for a terminated employee, post termination related challenges also will be covered. Apart from that, as I said, we will also discuss about advanced business process configuration options. It falls here like create condition rule, maintain stub delay, create help text, conditional help text, system notifications with custom notifications, and how to configure routing restrictions, configure consolidated approval, how to maintain step level override will be covered here. Apart from that, we'll also discuss advanced business process events. These are like human corrections. So we are human. Sometimes mistakes may happen, correct? So for example, a customer asks you to hire an employee effective date of December 1st, a future dated hire. But you hired an employee, by mistake, you hired an employee today itself. So how to handle that situation? So for that, Workday has given advanced business process events, which includes correct an event, cancel an event, and rescind an event, mass cancel, and mass resigns, mass advanced business processes. So we are also going to learn all these features. Okay. And as I said, apart from this, we will also talk about the Workday deployment methodology as I covered initially in detail. So they are the topics first we'll cover as part of functional. Before I will walk through integrations, does anyone have any questions or anything is not clear? Please let me know. I'm happy to help. Okay, let me also explain. Let me also explain the logistics. How we are going to present the session. The sessions will make it more interactive, friends. It's not like a one-way communication. Okay. So, for instance, let's take this chapter. We'll follow a three-step process. Step one, I will come up with class notes to simplify what is supervisor organization, what is additional organizations, etc. Something like definitions, prerequisites to configure, what are the next steps we need to configure. Then after, once you're clear with the details, I will come up with a real-time requirement, a sample real-time requirement. We all will go to the requirement, will understand the requirement as per the document and will configure the data. Thirdly, validate the configuration based on the requirement. A kind of a testing to make sure you have configured all the details accurately. This is how we will flow. And the same thing I will continue for each and every chapter, friends. Understand the concept, understand the requirement, deploy the change, test it, or test and deploy. Okay. Then once I completed three chapters, let's say I completed these three chapters, I will come up with 30 questions without any answers. Expectations, you need to give an answer for each question. This will help you to know where you are. Also, it will help you for interview preparations. It will help you to recollect so far what we discussed before we're moving on to the new topic. The same thing again I will do for three chapters here. Okay, three chapters here. So like that will continue. Okay. Then quickly let me also explain on the reporting and integration what we are gonna learn. Under integrations, we are going to learn reporting. So far we have configured. Now we are going to fetch the reporting data. Now we are going to fetch the data into the report. Here, first we'll have overview of report writer overview, in which we'll try to understand the simple report, advanced report, key differences between simple and advanced report, how to modify or convert a simple report to advanced report, what is mean by a advanced reports, simple reports, components like filters, subfilters, subfilters, sharing. Okay, all these details we'll discuss. And then we'll also talk about calculated fields. Workday has delivered 33,000 plus fields in Workday, delivered fields. But however, sometimes what happens is, based on the customer's requirement, the 33,000 fields may not meet the customer's requirement. In that scenario, you need to create a calculated fields or custom fields. So we'll also learn how to create calculated and custom fields. Then after aggregations based on the primary business object and secondary business object, data source securities and report field security, and how to manage and maintain the security domains. You can also hide or allow each and every report field, guys. 33,000 fields you can restrict or you can allow anyone. That level will understand. And then also we'll talk about how to schedule a report, how to run a report manually, how to send the report data output with any people as part of sharing. Okay, and how to troubleshoot the reporting runs, and how to develop a matrix report as well. Of course, we'll do each and every one. We'll do a testing also. Then this one you can please do ignore because it's my previous session when we are talking about how much time left I have explained them. So the same topics here you can see. Then apart from this, we will also going to talk about EIBs, inbound EIB, outbound EIB. EIB stands for Enterprise Interface Builder. It's a kind of an integration tool. If you want to send any data from Workday to the third party vendor, or if you want to send any report from Workday to the third party vendor, or if you want to integrate any data from Workday to any application, data transformation we can perform with the help of outbound AIB. Inbound AIB means you can perform mass data changes like terminate 1,000 employees, hire 10,000 employees, compensation changes. You can perform all these events in mass with the help of inbound AIB. So how to generate template, how to what data we need to ask from the customers, how to map the data. We'll discuss those details as well. And then after, we'll also talk about a core connector, friends. It's a powerful integration tool, I would say. Of course, not complex, moderate. So we will learn how to configure core connector, business object as worker, what is the architecture overview of the core connector, what are the combination components we have core connector, how to fire a core connector, how to how to maintain label overrides for core connectors, how to inactivate certain fields if you don't want to share with any vendor. All these details we'll discuss in we'll talk about core connectors in our regular session. So the other topics I'm going to be cover. Apart from that, I will also help you in interview preparations. We are going to provide 120 to 150 interview questions without any answer initially. So expectations, you need to find out the answer that will help you to understand the class components, etc. However, if you're not able to find out the answers by end of our session, I will give the keynotes as well, which means answers I will provide. Apart from that, what we are going to provide as part of our sessions, we will provide everyday recording immediately once the recording is, for example, today we have completed the class. This recording will be loaded within couple of hours so that you can go through the recording and do practice. Tenant access also will be provided, and class notes which I have created will be provided. And each chapter I will come up with a practice document for you. It's a kind of real-time requirement. So that document also provided for each chapter so that you can practice. And if you have any challenges while do practice, I will help you. Or if you complete the configuration, if you want me to review, I will review that as well. Apart from that, Workday certification material also will be provided. Interview questions as well. All this data will be shared with you after successful registration. Will share through the Google Drive. Okay, and there's no time limit, lifetime. There's no limit like 3 months or 4 months or up to only class. You can these recordings and documents you can access anytime. Okay, so this is about our class. Does anyone have any questions I can help? And if sorry, let's see if you guys have any questions.
I have a question here.
Please, ma'am. One.
Yes, what's the duration of the course?
Thank you for bringing that. So, ma'am, so overall, it might require 30 plus sessions. Only core HR required 24 sessions plus 14 sessions for integrations, ma'am. Okay, so overall, 35 to 40 sessions we need to complete, 40 hours. And per day, we will take 1 hour. And Saturday, Sunday, there won't be any class unless if you guys have any, if you say like, hey, let's utilize this time for interview preparations. I'm flexible and available. Okay, normally we'll aim to take session 5 working days, and 2 days I will give the activities for your practice. So that's how we'll go every day 1 hour session.
Okay.
And talent also will be provided by the organizer. Yeah.
And it's going to be the same time every day?
Timing,
Yes.
ma'am. So organizer will reach out to each of you. So please share the feedback and let him know your available time. So we'll check majority of the availability and then we'll schedule a class. I'm available at this time as well, but we will consider all a participant availability based on that. We'll arrange the sessions.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. And also, friends, we're talking about integrations, rules, conditions. So here there is no coding, friends. Okay, there is a so very Workday is a simplified product. Okay, I'm not saying that easy. That is also I'm saying. But if anyone is very new to HR, very new to IT, manageable, easily you can understand the concepts. Okay, no coding is required for this one. Now, if you ask me, in entire Workday Echo world, there is no coding. No, coding is there for advanced integrations like Studio, XSL to XML. Okay, that is next level integrations, complex integrations. For our current class, we don't need any coding knowledge. Might be some logical thinking, definitely, yes, it's required from that will start from here to entire each and every chapter. We need to think. So here we are doing setup, here we're going to do integration. Sorry, here we're going to integrate the object, groupings we're going to perform. So I will try my best to simplify. However, if you have any questions, I will happy to help. Okay. And coming to the Workday job opportunities in the HR, IT, HR applications, Workday is one of the best application. It's not I'm working as a project manager. I'm saying this. So even if you can compare in the Google or portals or even in LinkedIn, the job opportunities more for Workday when you compare with SuccessFactors, Oracle Fusion, or some other HR applications. Okay, the reason is easy to maintain, easy user interface, multiple delivered integration packages to integrate with other applications for seamless flow between Workday and other vendor applications, and reporting especially easy tool they made it. Moreover, the updates. Workday is not settled product. Still, they will understand the customer's requirement, bring the changes, and they will give the changes at free of cost. Okay, there is no patchwork, there is no manual work or patchwork here. Okay, unless you are choosing some manual updates, yes, you need to do testing. Rest everything Workday will be taking care. And one of the best advantage of because Workday is a cloud-based application, the customer no need to maintain the database here. Okay, we have to just configure all the data will go and save in the uh, Workday cloud, Workday database. Okay. Anyone have any other questions? So consider me as your friend. Okay, it's not like a trainer and trainee. So some of you might be super seniors for me, some of you might be super juniors for me. Please don't hesitate. If anything is not clear, you can ask me. I'm happy to help. Or if anyone have any questions like related to job or any gaps, you can call to the organizer. He will pick me into the call. He will put me into the call on conference. If anyone would like to discuss personally, okay, uh, that is also fine. We will help you out. Yeah. So this is about our session. This is core HR. Okay. Why we are calling techno functional means we are covering reporting is not integrated. Okay, this is a separate one. Reporting or cal fields are not integrated. Of course, we'll create cal fields to report and integration, but separate. We're going to cover, I have not mentioned here, my bad, I'm sorry for that. So we're going to cover two tools here, integration tool, EAB, inbound, outbound, data transformation. Second tool is core connector. We'll take an example, like a benefit data you want to send from Workday to the third party vendor, or a payroll data you want to send from Workday to the third party vendor. Okay, so what are all fields are available in Workday? What are the fields we can override? What fields the customer doesn't require, you can inactivate or hide. So that level we are going to discuss, and how to configure SFTP, how to encrypt the file during data transformations. So will be covered. So these are part of integrations. That's why we're calling it as techno functional. Core HR we're covering, functional we're covering. And in core HR also, I want to be highlight one thing. People will discuss grade profile, salary plan, or allowance plan. So here we're going to cover end-to-end compensation. Even I'm going to give 5 hours of advanced compensation recordings if anyone is interested to learn. We'll share self-learning advanced compensation recordings additionally. So after learning compensation, you want to move on to the functional side. Those recordings will be helpful for upskill yourself. That also I can have. I mean, we will provide. Okay. Any other questions, sir?
Hi, Kiran. Yeah, actually, after this core HM, will you able to provide it, another trainings as you mentioned, right, in absence, time tracking, payroll? Will you able to provide the trainings as well?
Yes, sir. So advanced modules, we will call it as all together. So I have an expertise in payroll, benefits, absence management, talent, and performance. If anyone is interested to upskill, and certainly, definitely, I will do that. But I didn't get a chance to work in time tracking, learning, and recruitment, except these three modules. I have an expert in other modules, so definitely, once we complete these topics, right? If anyone
Mhm.
interested, we will certainly I will do that. Either benefits, absence, payroll depends on your interest. Yeah.
Okay.
But one point I want to highlight, like some of our friends will say, I would like to directly learn payroll or I want to learn benefits. Definitely, maybe you are able to. But challenge is this is very important. I'll give an example. Assume because I'm seeing some friends they want to learn payroll directly because they have an SAP payroll expertise, okay, and they may not aware of Workday Core HR. Assume they run the payroll. In the pay slip, salary amount is coming zero. They verified all the payroll setup. Looks all good. But source is here, core. Then they have to come to the compensation and do the investigation here, analysis here. Whether the salary plan is there for worker, does it has an amount, does its effective date is falling under the payroll, does the transaction has been successfully completed or awaiting for an approval. So these things it helps. So that's what Workday recommends. If anyone wants to learn advanced module, first complete core HR and then move on to the benefits absence pay. Like that. Okay. Thanks for the question, sir. Anyone have any other questions?
How long this training period?
Ma'am, 35 to 40 hours, ma'am, to complete all the topics. And of course, I'm highlighting one more point here. 35 to 40 it will takes. I'm excluding a 3 hour session that is change management change and release management. It required a 1.5 hour. Most probably I may request on one weekend session. And Workday deployment methodology. Because these are, when I started explaining, these are more technical, right? So more questions I may get. So it may go for a 2 hours and more as well. Excluding these two topics, we require 35 to 40 hours.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Any other questions, friends?
And when are you planning to start this training?
Actually, I'm happy to start from tomorrow itself, ma'am. Just
Okay.
saying. But probably I want to check with the organizer and of course all our friends in the call, their availability. Maybe we will aim, if everyone is okay, we'll aim to start from Monday, coming Monday
Okay.
onwards. Okay. So meanwhile, he will take the feedback and you guys also see whether, um, yeah, search in the portals